Hello, and welcome back to the What's on These TV podcast, my commentary podcast, where I talk about shows, movies, music that I love from my perspective as a black lesbian woman. What is so funny? Anyway, my name is Dee. House rules are as they always are. Um, we can disagree. You don't got to be mean about it. Feel free to comment anything, question, comments, concerns in the comments below. How are y'all doing? Hope y'all are doing good. Hope y'all are enjoying your Pride month. If you are online, you know that this month has been a fucking year. But I hope everybody is enjoying. And yes, today we're gonna talk about Agatha All Along again. We're gonna talk about episode 4 and 5. And yes, I do have a guest again. I'm sure you can hear her.
Hi guys.
She get on my nerve, y'all. Introduce yourself.
They know it's me. It's Mo. Hey.
Annoying. Anyway, so we're gonna be talking about Agatha All Along again. For the Agatha All Along rewatch, and we're gonna be talking about episodes 4 and 5. 4 is Alice's trial. 5 is Agatha's trial.
PTSD.
Whatever. Anyway, so I'm just gonna get right into the episode. Again, still working on the sound. But yes, right into the episode because I have a lot of thoughts. Oh, y'all might hear my cat in the background. He's here, so he might contribute. May have a guest popping in and out. I'm not sure. She does what she wants. But anyway, yes. So, episode 4. Episode 4 opens up with Agatha saying to, well, we don't know who she's talking. We know now who she's talking to, but when we watched it for the first time, we didn't know. She said, "Didn't think you had it in you." Wink. And I said, "Bitch, knew the whole time. The whole time. The whole time." Where's that from?
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yes, I gotta rewatch that. I'm adding that to the list. And then I said, "Mrs. Hart," because she's.
And then she said, me and her both said,
What?
Who's Mrs. Hart?
Oh my god, yes, they did. She didn't remember. She just like Agatha. She didn't remember Mrs. Hart either. Well, because her name is Sharon. So when they said, "Who's Sharon?" and Agatha was like, "No." And she's like, "Sharon didn't make it," and she's like, "Who's Sharon?" And that was y'all. I'm still calling this lady Mrs. Hart. I'm sorry, Sharon. It's just so much easier to call you Mrs. Hart. I'm sorry. I respect you, though. I respect your name. And then I was saying, when Alice was over Mrs. Hart's body and Jen and Lilia were talking, I was like, did they really think Alice wouldn't be able to hear them? Because they weren't whispering. And she was like not that far away from them. So I don't know why they looked shocked when she was like, "My mother did that." I was like, "Girl, y'all was right next to her."
Maybe they thought they was. Maybe they thought, like, like when you like trying to talk trash about somebody, but like, so you think you whispering, but it comes out louder than expected.
So you shouldn't be talking trash about people if you can't be quiet about it. So no.
Excuse me.
And then I said, "I love Alice's jacket so much." And I said, one of the best Christmas gifts I ever got, because I did get Alice's jacket as a present last Christmas.
Well,
and it was great. He wants you to throw the ball for him.
Well, I don't want him because his claws hurt.
Oh my god, you're so dramatic. You're very dramatic. Anyway. So then I said, Alice saying the road would save her. That's why she was there when they asked her, when they said, "If your mom is dead, why are you here?" Like, because Agatha said that her whole thing was trying to find what happened to her mama. And she was like...
And like to break the curse, right?
Well, that's what Alice said.
Okay.
So I said, the road would save her. Not for nothing, I get it. If there was a definitive answer that I can get, if I was in her situation, I'd try to, not even gonna lie. And then Yo, she read her recorder. We don't got time to throw your toys at you so you can fetch them, please. And he's back. You're lucky you're adorable. And then I said, Agatha is a bitch, but boy, is she handsome. And then I said, this coat and those purple pants, I need it.
I do like the purple pants.
Oh,
If they were blue, though.
But they're not. Her color's purple. But
I'm just saying.
That coat, oh, I want it. And then I said, I will be flapping my coattails around, too.
It's a coat here.
Listen, it looks fabulous. And then I was confused about how they was able to dig the grave with those sticks, because they didn't look like shovels.
Listen, it's with the ground, you can dig within it.
I mean, I guess. I wouldn't know.
If you really put your mind to it,
I guess.
You can dig with anything.
And then I said she's speaking Spanish like her wife taught her when she said "andale," and she's like, "Come on." And then, hello. Like I said, I have another guest to maybe pop in and introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Mother.
Yes, that is my mother.
Hey, y'all.
Okay, we're talking about episode 4 and 5 of Agatha. What did you think of the first 3 episodes? And who's your favorite character?
The first 3 episodes. Let's see. Happened already. First 3 episodes. I was very enthralled. Ooh, good word.
In the window.
Interested. And interested to see what would happen in the next episode.
Yes.
Favorite character up to that point.
He wants me to throw his ball to him.
Let's see.
How you sickly.
Just take him back.
Can't remember her name. What, describe her.
The witch girl.
They're all witches.
No.
Well,
when they had the shot.
Lilia. Oh, Jin.
Yes.
Yes. Jin is awesome. Yes. Okay. So when she said andale, I was like, she's speaking Spanish like her wife taught her. And then Agatha making up more rules about the road because it's all bullshit.
I mean, is it though?
Yes, it is. She knows that. She's a scammer and a fraud. Joanne the scammer. That's Agatha. And then I said, Agatha and Jen really do be fighting like exes. I don't care. That's my canon. I don't know why you're looking at me like that.
I can see them as like siblings, but not anyone.
Nah, there's not giving siblings, it's giving exes. Not like dated, like they hunched a time or two.
Oh, okay.
You feel me? You get that, Mama? Do you agree?
Or friends with benefits.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Sure. Except not friends. Enemies with benefits. Is that a thing?
Just benefits.
Yes, that's it. And then when they asked her who left the road with her and she put up her one finger, I was like, Nikki. I know, like, then when I was watching it for the first time, I thought it was Rio. But then I realized it's Nikki. And I was like, oh, yeah. And then she said, most fatal for Mrs. Hart. I was like, this broad. When he said that was our fatal flaw, we didn't, we didn't help each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like most fatal for Mrs. Hart. Like,
wow.
And then what?
No,
you're still sad that she died.
Yeah. I liked her.
She was funny.
I liked her because she just drank the wine. She was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
All crazy people got me here and this nonsense. I'm gonna drink the wine.
She was just there for vibes. She didn't know. She wasn't
the wine.
She wasn't supposed to be there.
She just won.
Yeah, she sound like some people I know.
All the little neighborhood ladies want the wine.
There was the wine in their book clubs.
That's when you get the tea.
Wow. About everybody because they know. Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows because they done drunk the wine.
Yup. And then when they were talking about summoning a green witch to the road, and I said, of course y'all can summon a green witch. Y'all making shit up after all. And it's true, because they are just making things up. And then when Agatha did the spell to bring Rio, I still mute the TV. Because I'm like, just in case. Although, if it would conjure Rio...
what if Rio appears?
She
won't.
What if it conjures an Agatha? I gotta learn that spell.
You know it.
And then I said, Jen, what does being pleasant looking have to do with anything? When they were asking about what traits they wanted and the green witch they were conjuring, she was like, "May she be pleasant looking." I was like, how does that help y'all get out of the situation? What the broad looks like?
So that if they die, they have something nice to look at.
Oh my God.
What do you mean?
And then I said, Rio popping out of the ground scared the shit out of me.
Well,
and that's the part that I thought you was talking about. You were scared of what, Mama?
Also, she's pleasant looking. If they need to, for whatever reason,
Use her good looks.
no. But if they need to get people to follow, people are more drawn to someone who look. Oh, okay. To whereas what a typical witch looks
It's
like,
supposed to
scary.
be, yeah,
Mhm.
convened. Yeah, I get it. So she could be the person to enchant people, even though Agatha's been doing that. Agatha's been doing that for years with no issue, and I would follow her too. So yeah,
But it's not like she's ugly either.
exactly, that's true.
Okay.
And then I said, she's scared the shit out of me. Oh yeah, that was when she was climbing out of the ground. And I said I love the editing of the show, and it's hard to explain, but I like the way it looks, the colors and like the texture of the show. I like that. I don't know the like scientific terms and everything, but just like the way the show looks, it looked nice. If that makes sense, you get what I'm saying?
It's visually pleasing.
Yeah, but it's not like, I don't know how to explain it. It looks so smooth. That's the only thing
Flawless.
that I could think to say. Yes. And then I said I love that we get to see more of Rio's personality, because when she was first introduced as the cop, she was playing the cop, and then when she was introduced as as Rio, trying to get back at Agatha, we saw her flirtatiousness. I think that's a word. Well, we didn't get to see her actual like personality. So I like that we get to see that she's silly. And again, she's like, this is all bullshit, so I'm just gonna act crazy. And then I said I feel like Aubrey was made for the role to be just a weird vibes girl. And then I said Rio was just like, how did Agatha manage to do this when she got to the road? She was like, how did because they're probably used to Agatha's spiel like, hey, come follow me, I'm gonna steal your powers, and then Rio gets her bodies. So she's probably like, oh, this is a new addition to our scam. I like this. And then yeah, I said my canon is that Agatha and Rio have known each other for a very long time. Like they was hunching back in the day, and then Agatha's mama caught them, and that's why she wanted to kill Agatha, because she was homophobic. That's what I believe. And I believe that when she was witch. No, her mom was a witch too. When she said that she was messing with powers above her level, I feel like it's because Rio was teaching her stuff. Because Rio was the first green witch. Like Rio's older than Thomas, exactly. So that's how I feel like that. Gotcha. And then I said Agatha's vein is trying to pop out of her head when she's like, how did you get here? Because Rio just popped up. And I thought that was funny. Yes, Yoshi, go eat your dinner. Enjoy. I know, he's like, I'm going to eat. And then I said, no, she don't want to talk about her ex-wife and baby daddy when Teen was asking her questions about Rio. And she's like, I'm not interested. I don't want to talk about this. She just kept ignoring them. Yeah. And then when Jen and Alice and Lilia were talking about Rio, and then I was like, once again, y'all are not talking quietly. Y'all are not whispering. She's only a few feet away from you. She can hear what you're saying. When they were like, am I scared of her or do I want her number? I was like, she can hear y'all. And of course, that gave Rio a big head. She's like, compliments. Whatever. And then I said the road is gorgeous. Again, it just looks visually pleasing. Like you said, Mama.
I like how it looks bluish.
I like all the different lights, and I love this goes back to the beach episode, the beach house
I
episode.
like that house.
How those leaves were like a pretty pink color. I love. They did so good. And then, when they saw saw that there was a fire trial, Alice's trial, I was like, where did Alice's jacket go? Because she wasn't wearing the jacket.
Yeah.
And then, they got to the door, and I said the door is gorgeous.
Was that the moon?
The red door. Well, they all had faces of the moon, but it was the red door.
Oh.
This was like the 70s vibe.
Oh yeah, when Teen had that. Did he hit the bob?
No, I don't think it's called a bob. Like the shaggy hairstyle. I don't know what it's called. But he had like the shoulder length.
The
70s boy band, man band hairstyle. No, a bob is
different.
Yeah, but it's still not. He didn't have a bob. And then, I said I love how Agatha was the first to open the door, but the last to go in.
Yeah.
She was like, I'll open it. Yeah, go.
I'm being a gentleman.
Yeah, okay.
Chivalry.
And then when they turned around and we saw their outfits, I was like, yes, outfits. Love that. Did you want to sit? Okay. I was like, yes, outfits. And then I said, I love how the road, quote unquote, put Agatha and Rio in matching hot ass outfits. The road's a Agatha Rio shipper. And I love that for her.
Everybody else was like contained.
Yeah, exactly. But again, it seemed like they still had their colors. Well, not Agatha Rio, they were matching.
Yeah.
But it seemed like they still had their colors a bit. As far as like Jen and Lilia and Alice. Because Alice had the red glasses, her color is red.
Yeah.
Jen's was like kind of like a pinkish gown. Lilia's was yellow, and then Agatha Rio's matching, and then Teen's was blue.
Okay.
And then I said, when they were looking in the mirror at their outfits, Rio was staring at Teen like she just hated that boy. She was like, exactly, why are you here? And I don't know if anybody peeped that, but the way she was staring at him was funny. And when he was talking about the last house had a card that told us how the trial began. Yeah. And then when Rio snuck up behind Agatha, was like, boo. I was like, any chance Rio gets, she gonna terrorize her baby mama.
And it was in that room together.
No, this was before that.
No, same.
Yeah, but we haven't got to that part yet.
Just about.
And then I was like, why is Rio staring at Agatha like that? Yeah. And then I said that I'd love to know what's scripted and what isn't, because there's nothing in my mind that believes they didn't go off script a few times, especially with how well Catherine knows Agatha and knowing that they valued her input for the character. I know she added some stuff to the scenes. And then
would that be like, it's like, would you have to get like DVDs to see that, or
if they do like bonus scenes or like director's cuts or
the ad-libs?
Yeah.
But on DVDs.
I think, well, it could be digital. They did, well, but it doesn't show like any deleted scenes. They did show like the making of. They have an episode of that on YouTube. I don't think that, I hope they're coming out with that. I don't know when though.
Gotcha.
I don't know if that time has passed. And then I said Agatha's no. It was funny when Rio was behind her. She's like, no. And I said, gay asses. And then I said the eye contact is crazy. I live. And then Lilia seeing the torment of past witches like on the walls. I was like, that's so sad. And then that's why she was crying, because she saw. And then the masks that Jen saw, I was like, those are scary as fuck. The one where it's like, is his eyes moving?
I didn't look at that part. To be able to see that.
Yes, we're not horror girlies
at all. I just want to hear it.
And then
hear it. I'm gonna visualize it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I said that when Alice said for her mom, her fans were her coven. I was like, oh, that's so sad. I mean, it's kind of beautiful if you think about it, but it's also sad. Like she had that connection to her fans. But it's also sad.
People.
Exactly. But it's also sad that it couldn't protect her. But then I also don't know if her mom's goal was to protect herself or to protect her daughter. Because now we know that the song that she created, quote unquote, or Lilia's her mom's version anyway, Lorna's version, was a protection spell for her daughter. So I was like, maybe she wanted to protect her, not really protect herself.
So maybe like before she had her daughter, she did that song for herself, but when she had daughter, she changed some words.
No, I think she made it after she had her daughter because she wanted to protect her daughter.
Well, excuse me.
And then I like when Lilia was like, which one is it? Am I wispy or am I kooky? I was like, don't worry, Lilia. I'm wispy and kooky too. I feel you, girl. Now I don't see things the way she do, but I get it. And then I'm talking about when they were in the booth, and I was like, Rio, why you follow her into the booth? She wanted some alone time, obviously. That's why she left all y'all. And Rio decided to follow her anyway.
To help her get her brain juices flowing.
Whatever. Then I said I love that Agatha closed her shirt more when Rio came in. Also, it kind of looked like she was guiding her. She was protecting her heart a little bit too. But I could be reading too much into that. Girl, fuck you. And then I said, because when Rio came into the booth, she was holding like her belt in her hand. And I was like, did she take her belt off or was she holding it the whole time? Because I do feel like I think she was playing with her knife.
It was a knife. No, she was playing with the knife and they were sitting by the campfire.
No, yeah, but also in the like when they first entered the house, I feel like that's what I'm talking about. I feel like she was playing with her knife. And then when she came into the booth, she was playing with her belt. So maybe there's two separate things. And then I said, put that knife away, girlie, because when she was like, I want to cause some damage, and she pulled the knife up. I was like, girl, put it away. And then this is where it gets real game, mama. If you want to contribute, feel free. I said, this mood and this lighting and this mood lighting and music, they knew. And I said Rio asking Agatha why she brought Teen, and the look she gave her after Agatha said many hands. She was like, I don't believe you. Like, what are you up to? And now I'm wondering, did Rio? Well, she had to, because if her and Agatha have been working on this Lord Rich's Inn thing, then she had to know that this wasn't Agatha.
Wait, what?
If like she said, you get your power, I get my bodies. That's how they work.
Yes.
There's never been a real road in any of their other previous, yeah. So I wonder if she was like, who is that boy? Why is he here specifically? I don't think we'll get to that when they talk about it. Yes. And then I said, and now Agatha's like, I gotta distract her. That's why she hopped up and she was like, maybe the road is like Switzerland, because she wanted to distract her away from the boy. Do you have any comments about that, Mama? Okay. And then I said, oh yeah, did Rio not see Teen during their fighting scene in the first episode? Because he was there, like she opened the closet door. He couldn't say anything because his mouth was taped, but he wasn't like, you could see him. So maybe she was just so focused on Agatha. No, it was open. Because remember, she was like, if you're not part of my imprisoned mind, then that means. And then Rio blasted the door and it opened, and Agatha went flying through the door and it broke.
I could have sworn she opened the door after Real left.
No, she looked at her hand when Rio licked it and walked out, and then she breathed, and then she heard him, and so she looked. She was like, "All right, you."
Mm.
I don't know. I was confused by that, and then I said every time I rewatch, I notice something new. And then I was like, maybe the road is like Switzerland. The way they look at each other, they miss each other so much. They love each other so bad.
What the heck does that mean?
What do you mean?
The road's like Switzerland.
Like, the road is like Switzerland. Like, just let everything be, and we just work together for now till we get off
Oh, so
this.
that's like a Twilight reference. When they wanted her to choose between Edward and Jacob, she's like, "I'm Switzerland." Is that?
So then when Agatha goes, that's why I'm like,
All right, y'all know, y'all.
way to turn,
No, that's what helps you understand it.
way to turn the gayest thing she's ever said into something about Twilight. But okay, you go, girl.
I don't think it was necessarily about Twilight. I think she was doing comparison
Yes.
so that she would understand what she meant about the Switzerland comment.
I know, Mama.
Shut up.
And then I said, just one more big adventure, you and me, like old times. And I said, and that's when I knew for sure they was lesbian and together. Because I was like, it's the thigh rubbing for me, and I felt like that was unscripted.
They really had to get into the character. They
I-
really like.
No, I love it. I love unscripted stuff. And then under I said gay asses because I feel like it was unscripted. I love unscripted stuff, especially when you can tell. Kat and Adina did that a lot, or Kat and Adina, Aisha and Nicole did that a lot, and Naya and Heather did that a lot in Glee. Aisha and Nicole did that a lot in the Bold Type. I love unscripted stuff. And then I said, don't sneeze, we're recording.
She sneezed twice.
Listen,
Mom, that was the past. Didn't you tell us stop living in the past?
What did I just say? Bless you, don't do it no more. And then I said, Agatha saying work and play, and I said, me, bitch, is gay.
Bars.
Why'd you be a rapper? Listen. And then maybe I'll have a chance for Megan Thee Stallion.
Here we go.
Anyway, and then I said, I need them to stop talking to each other like that. Please don't stop. Don't stop. Keep doing it, but stop it. And then I said, Agatha, you a sneaky bitch, where she had her finger on the
microphone.
Yeah, so that they could hear.
It caused a riot.
And then I was like, she's such a bitch. The innocent shrug. When they were like, what did she talk about? She's like, I don't know. I was like, it gets me every time. And then this was when Teen, because he was like, how do I make this about me? Decided to play the album backwards. And I was like, I hate music playing backwards. That was a huge thing in high school that people would do and be like, listen to this message and play a song backwards. I'm like, I don't need that. Why do y'all do that? I'm okay. You know what I'm talking about? When he played the record and it was playing backwards.
I thought you meant like kids in school.
Oh, no, yeah. In high school, that was a big thing. They loved to play Lil Wayne's I Feel Like Dying backwards. And they're like, listen to this. I'm like, I'm okay. That song forward is creepy. I'm okay. And then when Jen was looking at Rio because the thing started, I don't know what it was called. What that
Player.
Percolate? Is that what it's called? You said
Player?
I thought you said percolator. No, the thing that
Oh, starts with an S.
The thing that starts with an S when it started going back and forth. I was gonna say pendulum, but I don't think it's a pendulum.
I know what you're talking about.
It starts with an S, right?
Whatever that is, when that started, and Jen was like, oh, and Rhea was like, I think that means the trial has begun, and she was smiling. And Jen was like, why are you smiling? And Agatha was like, she's a Taurus. And Jen was like, she's a psycho. And Rhea was like, I love that. Oh, that's hilarious. And then I said, that's my favorite back and forth of the episode, because I thought that was really funny. And then I was like, oh yeah, Jen is like, Rio, I'm not attracted to you anymore. You are a weirdo. And I said, I love the show so fucking much. And then I said, Jen is like, I don't want you anymore, Rio. And then, did you notice Rio's face when Alice snatches her dagger from her hands in order to make the circle around Lilia when she was burning? And how she grabbed it and Rio was like, just take it, girl.
That one.
I thought that was funny. And then Jen saying she needed Alice to draw a circle around her. Meanwhile, I'll be like, I'm taking my black ass home. Y'all got it. There's nothing here for me. Did you find the name of it?
I'm Googling. I don't really know what to search.
I don't know. And then I said, generational fucking curses, because that's what Alice's episode is about.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes. And then I said, oh, Jen, my baby, when her shoulders started burning. I was like, no. And then I said, Rio reading the fucking newspaper while the curse is flying around. I was like, you don't take nothing seriously. Well, I mean, I guess she don't have to. But you could at least act the part. She just vibes. She's like, I'm just vibing and I'm here to torture my ex-wife. And then I said, Teen getting pushed through the window. Teen said, how do I make this about me?
I don't think
it is. It is. It is. He's like, me time. Every time. Every time. He never misses the opportunity. Whatever. He likes to self-insert.
Is there a specific term for that?
Self-insert.
Oh, but you know me in these terms.
Self-insert. Anytime somebody is doing something, he's like, oh, I'm here too, guys. Don't forget.
What is that called though? I don't think
self-insert.
No, it has to be like a proper term for it.
Self-inserting.
No, is that it? No.
How many times? I'm not going to repeat myself no more. I told you the term.
No, because I feel like there's a professional term.
Self-inserting. When you're writing something, you're reading something, you're watching something, and you're like, let me put myself in here. That's self-inserting.
No.
Girl, you got it. And then I said, hell yeah, I live in this circle. I'm with Jen. She's like, I live here now. And then when Rio was like, what's the plan, Agatha? I was like, come up with something quick. Come up with another lie. Come up with another scam. And then I said the look that Rio and Agatha share when she says Lorna's intention was to save her daughter. I was like, my poor babies.
Ooh.
Rio and Agatha. When Agatha said that her intention was to, or when Rio said that Lorna's intention for her version of the song was to protect her daughter.
Gotcha.
And I said, my poor babies. And I said, Rockstar Agatha is hot, but any Agatha is hot. It don't matter.
I like the head. I liked her head, man.
I like the pants. And then I said, now, why is Jen on bass, Agatha? That seemed a little racy to me, a little racist. Like, because she black, she gotta know how to play bass. Why couldn't she play piano? Interesting.
Or maybe Alice said she wanted to play the piano.
Alice didn't say shit. Alice was like, I don't want to be here. Alice was like, I don't want to tell y'all about none of this. I'm keeping quiet. All she said was, I'm not performing that song. That's it. Because she asked Lilia, and Lilia was like, I play Zells. But for Jen, she was like, no, you're on bass. What you mean, Agatha? Listen. And then I like when she was like, play it right and play it well, and maybe we won't die. I said, I need that on a shirt. I like that. And then I said, give Agatha and the Agathettes all the Grammys.
Agathettes. Wild.
And the Agathettes, I love that. I will put that on the shirt too. Agatha and the Agathettes.
That's just neat.
What? And then I said the editing in the show when they showed Agatha, Alice, Teen, like when they did the transition. I liked that. I thought that was cool. And then I said, I wish I knew how to play piano. You never shut me up. I know how to play a few chords of chopsticks.
Listen. When I learned how to play the harp, it's over.
Why the harp?
I don't.
You're so gay. You're very gay. You know that? The harp.
Where?
The harp of all instruments.
So, this just sounds so.
Okay, fruit.
I don't know, but I really want to learn how to play the harp.
I bet. Not guitar, not drums.
No, harp.
The harp. What you gonna do? You gonna be in somebody's orchestra?
You know it. Maybe you a wedding.
Wow. Oh, our harp player.
Our harpist?
You know, can you just not be gay for like 5 seconds? Jesus. What you say, Mama? Yeah, no. It's like everything you say is fruity.
What?
But no, if I knew how to play the piano, I would never shut up. I know how to play a few chords of chopsticks. And I learned that in the hospital. And it's CCEEAACCFFAAGGBB. And that's how I remember it. And then that's it. And then it's dun, 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 dun. I don't know that part though.
Yeah.
Oh, I would love to learn how to play piano. That would be cool.
You play piano, I play harp, and we just like from a band.
It's a gay ass band. What are we gonna be called? Dashanique and the Dashaniquettes.
No.
Lord.
The Trevian's mom.
Right? The Trevion's mom and the other one.
Oh. Other one is.
And the second. And then I said, they sound so good. Oh, dang it. iPad, you trying me. Hold on. Where was I? Yes, outfits. I'm going too far. I should probably put on my glasses.
Did you get one?
Yeah, but I don't feel like putting them on. They're not murdery looking. They're cool.
Did you see the action glass?
No, I'm not talking. Can we talk about me for a second?
I getting new glasses. I feel so limited out.
You'll get there.
But if you wear your other pair, they're new.
I'm not.
You haven't worn your other pair?
I think so.
When?
I only have this.
You have 2 pairs.
Guys, we are recording. Can y'all talk about y'all glasses at some other point?
You ain't saying nothing.
I'm trying to get to where I am and y'all are confusing me.
How?
Because you being nosy.
I'm sorry, y'all. This episode gonna be all over the place too, even though I have a outline. I'm just coming to the realization the outlines don't mean shit to me.
When I'm involved in the podcast, it's not gonna go as planned.
Very much so. And now we also add Mama to it, and y'all two together just
It's the best thing ever.
You can get out.
Oh,
it's my podcast.
we can take over for a day.
It's already recording, right?
Wow, that's
We got to.
crazy. That's crazy. I said they sound so good. The singing together and the playing of the instruments together. They really learned well. Allie, who played Alice, already knew how to play the piano.
So that's why she got piano.
That's not the point. But they all learned how, like, Aubrey learned how to play drums. Sashir learned how to play bass. I believe Patty already knew how to play zills and all that stuff. And then Teen learned how to play the Teen. I'm still calling him Teen. Joe learned how to play the guitar. I thought that was cool.
They can do that, but if they can learn that quick.
And then, you know, all Catherine had to do was sing.
That's it.
Not all. She did phenomenal. But, and then again, I said I'll never get that song out of my head. It's going to be in my head for forever.
I was singing earlier.
Yeah, I played it in the car. And then I said the physical and the part that you hate, the physical embodiment of the curse is scary as shit. You remember, Mama, the scary looking thing that landed on her shoulders?
I didn't watch that part.
Good. Because no.
It wasn't that scary.
And then it was the nerve to zoom in on its face.
That's when it got funny looking to me. I was like, oh my God. Because his teeth. I was like, why is his teeth so sharp?
I didn't like that.
And then I said that they're all such great dramatic actors. Once they realized Teen was hurt and they were like worried about him. I was like, they're all such great dramatic actors. And then I said, wrong thing to say, Lilia, when she was like, he's young. And Agatha was like, don't. And then I was like, all her softer don't to Rio. When she looked at her, she was like, don't. I'm like, please.
He's not ready to know yet.
Oh. And then I said,
So that means she took Sharon.
yes, well, yeah, but yeah, probably. Well, no, because that's the thing. Is she only deaf to magical beings, or is she deaf to everyone? Because Sharon is not a magical being.
But she was posed.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure she took her too. Let's just say yeah.
Deaf?
Yeah, but it's different because I don't know if deaf is deaf to the mortal world or if she's just deaf to the magical beings, like if it's separated. Yeah. And then I said, Catherine is such a pretty crier. She really does cry really pretty. She cries in everything she's in. That's not like a comedic role.
Yeah.
And she looks so pretty. And then I said, good job, Jin, baby. When she saved him with the moonlight and the water. And everybody's like, look at what she did, Jin. I was like, oh. And then you saw the way Alice was looking at Jin. I was like, oh. I need y'all to get together. Oh, I said it. The way Alice was looking at Jin. I know, baby. I know. And then I thought it was funny how Agatha was protectively watching over Teen while he was healing. And I saw somebody on Twitter say, and again, y'all, I'm going to this assuming that y'all have already seen it. So sorry, spoilers. But somebody on Twitter went in and said that Rio had to take Nikki while Agatha was asleep. So that's probably why she stayed up and was watching over Teen to make sure.
Yeah.
Especially because Rio was there.
Yeah.
And she was making sure that he was cool. And then when Lilia was talking to Alice, when Alice was saying how she wanted to believe that what her mom was saying was a lie so that she could stay angry, and Lilia was like, it's better to be sad than it is to be angry. I don't know if I agree with that.
I do.
I would definitely rather be angry than sad. No. Which one, Mama, do you think? I mean, I would rather not be either, but if I had to choose, I would rather be angry than sad.
I don't know, because I feel like with anger, because you do things out of anger that you don't mean.
But you do things out of sadness that you don't mean.
Ooh. But it's harder to take back angry words than sad words.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
Especially when you have anger held in for
if you're like, I hate you, and it's sad, or if you're like, I hate you, and it's angry, it's the same thing. Maybe there's always some sadness in anger.
It's you being all poetic and stuff.
Shut up. Oh, I get what y'all are saying though, but just for me personally, I'd rather be angry because I also feel like getting over anger is a little bit quicker than getting over sad. Like I feel like anger is temporary and sadness is like you never get over it really. You always struggle with it. You know what I mean?
It's like buried.
Exactly. You just learn to live with it. Meanwhile, anger, you're like, oh, you can do this and then get it out. It's easier to get out anger than it is to get out sadness. That's what I was saying. I'm not trying to change y'all mind or anything, but that's just where my viewpoint is. You know what I mean, Mom? You know what I mean? Like, do you get what I'm saying? And then I said, Jen making Alice something for her pressure points is so cute. And I feel you. Okay.
And that's not good for me.
Well, when I said you get your anger, I meant go to the place where you throw plates. Was it a destroy room?
Rage room.
A rage room, yeah, things like that. There's ways to get your anger out that wouldn't work with sadness. But yes, Jen making Alice something for her pressure points just because it smells nice. I thought that was adorable. And then when Lily was talking about the lies that are told about witches and how they all have an extra nipple. You know, you don't have thumbs, sir. How they all have like extra. I know, like he thinks he has human hands. There you go.
Oh, I was complete.
What is it?
It's a metronome.
Metronome.
I typed that.
Well, Mama was right as usual. Don't tell her that though; she'll get a big head. So I said that yes, Rio. Sorry, Mama. I just threw it. My bad. Yo, she be careful. I'm sorry. But I was like, yes, Rio, show us the nipples.
What?
Cause she said she's covered in nipples.
Scars.
No, she said nipples.
I thought it was scars.
No, when Lilia was like all the myths that are told about witches that they are that they whatever and that they have extra nipples, and Rio was like, I'm covered in nipples. Want to see?
Oh,
I was like, yes.
Yeah.
And I said, I mean, huh? No.
Keep it PG.
And then I said, Agatha was so stressed. Now she want to act like the tough guy. When Teen was waking up and she was like, oh. I was like, yeah, girl, we saw you. And then I said, she can't be vulnerable. She got a joke.
Always.
And then when Teen was like, how did your son die? I was like, why would you ask her that right now?
Like, didn't you just almost die?
Like, again, the boy has no self-preservation skills. Why? We just went through something so traumatic. Why would you ask me that? I would have punched him in the head. I don't know. And then when Agatha was like, heal fast, we're not staying long, she went over to where everybody was, and Rio had placed a flower on the log next to her, and Agatha went and picked it up. I was like, that's so cute. And then knitting needle to the elbow. I can't imagine how painful. Like, because did it go into her elbow? Did it go through when they were talking about their scars? I was like, did it go through her elbow? Like, did it go in? How? Was she just scratched?
Rio's explanation of her.
Rio is dramatic and gay. And then, whatever. Okay. And then I said, Agatha's awkward laughter. She's such a loser. She's not used to people laughing with her. When she was telling her story, and she's like, y'all ever heard of the Daughter's Liberty? And they were like, no. She was like, exactly. And then they were laughing. I was like, that's adorable. And then I said, Rio, this is Rio. How can I make this about me? Because they're just sharing lighthearted but also traumatic stories about their scars. And then here come Rio. I have a scar. And then when Agatha was like, no, you don't. I was like, how would you know she ain't got no scars, Agatha? Yes. And then Rio's whole speech, and then she was like, she is my scar. I said, gay asses. And I said, no, but Rio's speech is adorable. She just wanted to feel like she belonged to. And of course, she's probably never had that experience because she's been deaf her whole life.
Yeah.
And I said, and of course, she wanted to send her wife a message. But I just thought that was a really cute speech. And then I was like, Agatha was like, damn, I can't be around the boy. I can't be around y'all. Guess I'm walking. Fuck. Because she had to walk around. And he was like, y'all are all killing my vibe. And then I was like, why are you shocked, Rio? Why are you shocked that she would have that reaction after what she went through? And in your speech, why are you shocked that she's like, I'm not doing this right now. I'm going to go. I thought that was funny. And then I said, Rio hissing at Lilia was funny as fuck. When she was like, don't think I forgot what you said in the sound booth. And she was like, I was like, girl, calm down. And then, I said, now. What? What happened? Listen, I don't know the Heimlich, so I need you to eat what you eating and don't choke.
When you do the he's back it behind your back.
Oh. Is it? Well, you gotta find it, sir. Get off my desk. Where is it? Oh, I got it. And then I said, now. This is the softest scene I've ever witnessed between a sapphic ship, and I love the fuck out of it. When Rio walked up to her and was like petting her hair.
Oh.
I was like, why you moaning, girl? Nasty. But no, that was so pretty. And I was like, the lighting, the music, their facial expressions, it's perfect. That is one of my favorite scenes in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, it also shows you get to see how they are fiery, and then you get to see how they are confrontational, and then you get to see how they are soft.
All the emotions.
Exactly. They did great with the little that they had.
Amazing.
Exactly. And then I was like, it's all perfect. And then I said, and so very, very gay. I live. Happy Pride Month to us. And then I was like, Agatha moaning just because Rio touched her hair. Tell me again you don't care. Bars. Gay ass. Cause she like how she just folded. Like the minute Rio ran, she was like, oh. I was like, girl, calm down. And then I said, Rio, she knows that ain't y'all son. Her get a little smooch when she was like, that boy is not yours. I was like, she knows that.
She ruined that.
I know. Like, I get it. People were saying on Twitter she didn't want her to kiss her under false pretenses. I get that. But there's no way Agatha thought that teen was her. She knew that boy is not hers. She knew that this was a farce from the beginning.
And I feel like that would have been like a deep kiss.
Yeah, like a longing, like I miss you, because again, Agatha's had the Darkhold for a while, and Rio hasn't been able to get to her.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't get her. Agatha didn't get her smooch. And then I said Rio's lip bite when Agatha walked away. I was like, oh. She was like, damn.
Mm-hmm. That's what we said.
Mm-hmm. And then. Oh wait, so before hold on. I was talking about the hug. I was talking more about the scene. I was like, the hug. Agatha trying to go in for a kiss. I simply need more of them. It's not a want. It's over here, Yoshi. It's not a want. It's a need. I need to see more of them.
Yeah.
Well, I said no, but this scene feels very intimate. And once again, I'm in shock at the fact that we got a sapphic scene like this on a Disney show. I was like, Jack, you are the GOAT. And then I was like, yeah, her wall's back up. Thanks, Riri. We could have got a kiss.
She let it down, and now it's back up.
I know, right? All because I'm going to find a way to blame Tina for this. And then I said, when I was talking about, I was like, I remember us just being so enchanted by that scene, and us being like, yeah. And then she's like, it was like, damn it. I was like, oh, so they really just gonna hug and that's it. It was like, exactly. I was pretending like I didn't care, but I really, really did. I really wanted more. So, but no, yeah, we was like, just do it. And then I was like, you probably don't even know this quote, so it's gonna be wasted.
You don't even know that.
I was like, Jack got on the phone with Disney and was like, I want to make history, and she did. You don't know.
What was it from?
What's the girl's name from what's the show? The show with that Sky Jackson was on, the Disney show that Sky Jackson was on.
Jesse's House?
Is that what it's called?
Jesse.
I'm gonna say Jesse's House. Wow. Yeah, Jessie. That girl said that, and she was like, I went to Disney. I was like, I want to make history. I was like, it was wasted on you. You gotta watch it.
I knew when it was from.
Yeah, whatever. But that was the end of episode 4. What were your thoughts on it? And then I'll say mine, unless you want me to say mine first, and I'll say mine first while you think of yours.
It was a good episode. The only thing I didn't like was, thing on Alice's show.
Mm-hmm.
That. But When we first saw that teen was like stabbed in the side because he was thrown through the.
Because he made it about him and threw himself through the window.
I don't think he volunteered himself.
And threw himself through the window. You don't gotta think that's what he did, but go ahead.
But yeah, when we first saw it, I was like, oh my god, is he gonna die?
Yeah.
Oh.
He can't die. If he died, then all this disappears, right?
But we still have other people to deal with. So like,
he's so dramatic, and he knew that. That's why he made it about himself. Anyway,
it was cute. Not like Alice. I think she's pretty.
I love Alice. I love Jen. This whole cast is great looking.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
What's Lillian's name?
In real life? Patty LaPone.
LaBelle.
Patty LaBelle. Micah, do you have a rating for this episode? I know you say you don't have it, or you say you have one for one of the episodes, but I don't know if it's this one. Okay. My thoughts.
Go ahead.
I love the episode. I love that we got to see Rio and Agatha interact in different ways. One being a conniving way, still flirtatious, and one being a very soft, like I love you way. I like Alice's trial. I like what it teaches you about family, family trauma, family curses, because I do feel like a lot of people struggle with that, generational curses and stuff, and breaking cycles.
Yeah.
And I like that she was able to realize that it was holding her back. It was holding on to, like Lilia said, the anger and the sadness and everything like that was holding her back. And she didn't see that her mom was protecting her because she was so mad at her for like dying, I guess, and like leaving her. So she didn't see, but she also protected you. And I get that.
I guess she was blinded by the pain.
Exactly. I do like that we get to see little glimpses of Agatha's real feelings because, again, she can't be serious for nothing. She always got a fucking joke. But she was really worried about Teen. And it really brought her back to her child. And I enjoyed seeing that side of Agatha. I do like that, again, back to Agatha and Rio, we got to see a softer side of them, because I feel like the next episode, episode 5, Agatha's trial, deals with parental stuff.
Yeah.
So we didn't have the opportunity to see her interact that much with Rio because she was dealing with her parental stuff in her trial. So I like that we got to see Agatha and Rio stuff beforehand. So it wouldn't be like exactly, but it wouldn't be like we went to Agatha's trial and we didn't get to see anything about her and Rio.
Yeah.
And that's obviously a huge part of her life, you know what I mean? So I enjoyed that. I thought that they did that well, and it didn't feel like it took anything away from Alice's storyline either. Teen got a whole episode. He's fine. We wouldn't be here because of him. His dramatic ass. He is his mother's child. Anyway. Whatever. So, but what my rating? I give that episode a 9 out of 10. I thought it was good. I would have given it a higher rating.
Had she not opened her mouth?
No, had she opened her mouth before a different reason, you feel me? Had they had kissed, I get why they didn't, but I still wanted to see it. I'm not gonna lie and be like, oh, it was perfect. Then, it would have been perfect for me if they had kissed.
I don't hype us up and then take them.
I
hyped us up.
Like, I don't appreciate the edging. Was it worth it? A little bit, but that's not what we're talking about right now. We're not talking about that episode right now. So, yes, I didn't appreciate the edging with no payoff, although the moon was nice. So, yes, it's a 9. In my ranking of episodes, I said I have a top 3. What did I say was in that top 3? I said the first episode was in the top 3. in this episode is in the top 3 as well. So, yeah. Anywho, we're going to go to, I don't know if Mom, when she comes back, when Mama comes back, if she comes back, we'll ask her opinion on episode 4. But now we're going to go to episode 5. And then it opens with them it opens with the road, and then the 7 got in somehow. And creepy ass, because they was the animals.
Okay, I was about to say, wait, is this like the animals that we see?
Yes. And I was like, the 7 creeps me out
Cool.
so much. It's cool to you, was creepy as hell to me. I was like, I don't like this. And then the slow. So wait, you have a problem with how she walked down the stairs in the slow motion, but them coming to life on the road in slow motion didn't creep you out?
No, because there's animals.
But once they showed them, like when she hid behind the tree and then she popped out, she was the human.
Oh, yeah, no, that creeped me out. But it started off cute because it was animals.
I don't know. I didn't trust it.
Spider thing.
It was a snake.
Pretty sure one of them was a spider.
No, Rio had a spider.
Oh, I don't like that.
The animals in the woods, I see that. I think rabies. So, no, not for me. And then, I said, again, I don't know how to explain it, but the colors and textures in the show are so satisfying to my brain. If y'all know the word for that, let me know, because I can't think of it, but it is satisfying. And then I was laughing at Jin using the face mask made of leaves, like as a sleeping mask. I was like, you're so dramatic and extra. I love her. Oh, I love me some Jin. And then I was like, everybody else is resting and Rio's just lurking. Exactly. Well, again, I guess she don't gotta sleep, but it's still like, you just standing there. And then I was like, you better stand up for your wife, Rio, when Lilia was saying who the 7 are. And Jen and everybody was like, oh, when she tried to kill her coven, and then, or when she tried to take the powers from her coven. And Rio was like, when her mom tried to have her executed. And then Jen was like, why are you standing up for her, you creepy, like whatever she was. I was like, you better stand up for your girl. You better stand up for her.
Sure, that's support.
And then Agatha comes running out, and she's like, yeah, moral of the story, kindness is overrated and all that stuff. And I was like, that's a good way to look at things, Ags. I get her point of view being, I killed these people, but I saved y'all, and now y'all hunting me. Fuck y'all. I get it. And then I was like, love the coat. When she put the coat on, she's like, love it. Oh, I need it. And then I was like, I want to fly on a broom. It looked fun. Mind you, I don't want to fly in an airplane. But, huh?
I'd rather a broom.
No, I mean, if you have magic, I want to fly on a broom. Just me. I don't want to fly. I want to get to where I need to go. I would rather teleport than fly, honestly. Okay. You know what? I don't want to fly on a broom. I changed my mind. I just thought it was cool the way they did it. And then I said, love that Agatha and Rio made a broom for each other. Like it's their second nature. Yes.
And then the other 3 had to fight.
Well, it was Jen and Lilia, and then Alice and Teen made theirs.
Yes.
I just thought it was so cute.
And there's that switch.
Yeah. And then Rio sneaking to touch Agatha's hand when she gave her the broom. I was like, you ain't sneaky girl.
You always want to touch her.
I was like, she's still mad at you. We still ain't get that kiss. We still pissed off. Don't do that. But it was cute. And then I said to Teen, y'all know y'all are in a goddamn rush. Why are you stopping to look at the fucking album? You know, they told you it's the 7. No self-preservation skills. I don't care. And I said, Alice the Protector, she good, because I would have been like, look the other way. You wanted to be in his face, well, listen. And then I said, when they was flying, and Rio was like, oh, was like, Rio's just there for the vibe. She don't give a fuck what's happening. She's like, I don't care. I care about Agatha, but that's it. Whatever y'all got going on, y'all finna die anyway. I'm gonna get my body. She gonna get her power. It is what it is. And then again, I said the editing in the show is so fucking cool. And I love them flying past the moon and Agatha looking at Rio. In order for them to do that scene, it was dolls that they had flying across the moon. They made like specific dolls, and I thought that was cool.
Really?
Yeah. And you have to watch the making of. It's so incredible. But yes, I thought that was cool. I'm flying across the moon. Just again, the visuals are very pretty. I love it. And then when they was flying up, I was like, I thought y'all couldn't leave the road. Because she said don't step off the road. And them flying, that's leaving the road. And then I was like, well, there you go. Because they left the road, but then the road brought them right back down again. I was like, yeah. Exactly. And then I was like, Rio's cackle's hilarious when they were all going down, and Rio started laughing. I was like, girl. And then I was like, oh, we gonna pause episode 5. Mama, what was your thoughts on episode 4 and the trial, Alice's trial and everything like that? What were your thoughts? What's your rating, if you have a rating for it? It was Alice's trial. It was about her generational curse breaking, and then Agatha and Rio had their moment in the woods when Rio was like, that boy is not yours. And Teen got hurt because he threw himself through the curse threw him through the window, and he got injured, and they had to save him because he's a drama queen. It was Alice's trial.
I know.
In the red, the 70s outfit.
Oh, in the basement when they were doing the instruments, when they did the song?
Yeah, but they were in the house, not the basement. But yes.
It was the basement.
Understood.
Studio.
Yeah.
Studio, yeah. Let's see. Let me think.
When you got it, let me know. We're going to continue episode 5, okay? So, I was like, flying into the bug lady with your mouth open is crazy. When they was flying through and they saw her and she turned into all the bugs, and I was like, I was like, close your mouth. Ugh. It's supposed to be good for protein or something. Ugh. And then I said, I love the sleepover attire. I love their outfits.
I love how they gave Agatha the dress, the moo. Not moo.
Isn't that the jersey?
That.
Mm-hmm. Gay ass, and her lesbian bracelets. They did that on purpose, and some fans pointed it out to the costume designer on social media. He was like, yeah, that was very purposeful, and I love that. Oh,
like, I love the hidden messages that he been putting in there.
Not even hidden. I love that they're just like out and proud with it, but it's not in a way where it's like just trying to get your viewership. We don't really care. We don't really believe this. We just know that you'll watch if we do this. You know what I mean? Like shows do.
I don't remember the name saying hidden.
Okay. The nods to queer culture is what I love. Still thinking? Okay.
Getting my wording.
Okay, let me know. And then I said, not for nothing, I'd be mad if I lost my spell book too, because it did look like a cool little book. And it had everything in it that you needed. Mm-hmm. That's cool. That's handy. I'd be mad. Just like I was mad when she threw the pen out the window. I was like, if that was good. Exactly. I'm losing my pen and my book. Okay, go ahead, Mama. This is Mama's opinions on episode 4.
Because she had to.
I can call her Mama. Y'all call her Mom. Don't be disrespectful.
The trial was, in order for her to break the generational curse, she had to face why she lost her mom. And I don't know, to me it was like she was in some ways blaming herself, but going to the trial was showing her that it wasn't her fault. But at the same time, even though her mom was gone, she was showing her that she needed her to be strong enough to understand why
exactly
she died.
Yeah.
and that it was for her, not because of her.
And I didn't think about that, how it did seem like Alice was blaming herself, but yeah, it did. When she was like, I thought it was all my fault, in a way to ignore the mother aspect. It feels like she just tried to like close that part down, put it away. This is me. All this is me. I didn't think about that. Good point. Good point. Okay. Anything else? Anything about Agatha and Rio and their reaction? Oh, so I wanted to ask you how me and Bonasia were like, kiss. And you were, I know you were watching it, but I don't know if you were watching us. Did you have any thoughts on our reaction to that? He wanted to give you kisses. Need a baby. Yoshi, you're so big. Did you have any opinions on that?
No, because at that point I was more into Alice's emotions at the moment and what she was going through. I mean, I knew Agatha and Rio were over there being themselves, but it was more of an emotional reaction for me.
Got you.
To her reaction.
To Alice's?
Yeah.
Understood. Do you have a rating for this episode? If you don't, it's fine. Manisha doesn't. So.
What do we do?
Like 1 out of 10.
10.
10 being like the best episode ever. And it doesn't even have to be the best episode of anything you've ever seen, just the best episode out of the episodes in the series.
I would say that one was 7.9.
7.9? Okay. All right. What could they have done to get a 10? Made Agatha and Rio kiss? I agree. But other than that, what could they have done?
I would have liked it, since she was having like kind of the memories of her mother that she didn't want to remember, if they had somehow figured a way to, even though Mama's passed, but being that she was a witch, have her like be able to come back to her and say, I'm okay, I love you, I'm there for you, I'm always there for you.
And I was thinking about that in regards to the series. I kind of like how the show doesn't do that, because I feel like Disney does that a lot. Because, of course, they always kill the mother characters in Disney shows and movies. But then they always be like, oh, but she's coming back to... But in reality, it's like, you don't always get that. And I like how realistic it is. Like, it doesn't feel like it's we have to make everybody feel good all the time after dealing with something realistic, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, to me,
I know it's
not about making her feel good.
No, the viewer.
Just to give her not closure. You never
exactly. That was the thing.
You never get closure.
Exactly.
When you lose someone that important, but just acknowledging.
Yeah.
That she was hurt. She thought it was her fault. She had guilt. Just as a way for her to just be able to let the guilt go, because the guilt was misplaced. It didn't belong on her.
Yeah.
But
I think that's what they did in the 5th episode, the episode we're talking about now, when she was explaining to them why she was mad at her. Again, when Lily was like, rather be angry. Oh no, that was the 4th episode. She's like, rather be sad than angry. I think that's when maybe she didn't even realize what she was doing, and then after that happened, she's like, oh yeah, so that's what that was about. I like that. I feel like she came to the realization, but not in a cheesy way that shows and movies love to do. And I like that because it made it feel more realistic. You get what I'm saying? I get what you're saying too. I'm not trying to like change your mind, but I'm just saying from what I was thinking.
Well, for me,
yeah.
If whatever, if there was ever like any way for me to like have some type of message, like if something were to go bad, just for me to be able to say to my kids, I love you, I'm always here. None of this was your fault or even had anything to do with you.
Yeah. Understood. And that could also be a different perspective as well, because I don't have, have Yoshi.
And that's what I'm saying, from the mom's perspective. Like if they had just done like a little flashback, like when she came like in the mirror.
Or no, when she went into the sauna and her mom was there, and she's like, I can't protect you. Yeah, got you. I understand.
I'm saying from the mom's
perspective,
so that, because you, as a mom, of course, you always want to protect your kids. You always want to take care of your kids. You always want to know that they're going to be okay. You know, so even if when she was in the sauna, if like that little smoke came through of, you know, I know you were hurt, but I love you.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
I got you. I get what you're saying.
But still, 7.9.
Understood.
Pretty high up there.
Yeah.
That was emotional.
Is this one of your... I don't think it's one of the most emotional ones. I think that's definitely for the latter episodes. But is it one of your favorite episodes of the series? Like, does it have the highest rating, or one of the highest ratings if you have ratings for the episodes?
I liked all of them.
Yeah.
I like the different facets that the whole series showed.
Understood.
Like you got
the different point of view.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Point of view.
Yeah.
What was going on? What they thought happened. Maybe that wasn't what happened. So you got to see from their side what they saw.
What they say, there's 3 sides to every story. Your side, my side, the truth.
Yeah.
I like that. I do feel like they did that. So we're pretty early in the 5th episode. We're talking about how this one is Agatha's trial, when they go to the cabin in the woods and they have on like the 70s outfits. And the part that we were up to,
You mean the pajamas?
Yeah, the pajamas, like the sleepover. Not 70s. Yeah, it's like the sleepover pajama outfits. The 70s is the 4th episode. My bad. I misspoke. I apologize. And we were saying how they made brooms for each other. The Hex and Besson, I think is what it was called. I don't know. They made brooms for each other, and I thought that was really cute how Agatha and Rio did it, and it was like second nature. And then Alice made one for Teen, and it was kind of a little like passing the torch, maybe, especially because we see what happens in the episode.
Yeah.
I thought that was nice. And then how Teen has no self-preservation skills because he just stared at that owl that when he knew the 7 was there, and he knew that they came in forms of animals, and he was just staring. Right, Yoshi? You get it. And then I was telling her how when they showed that shot of them flying past the moon, how those were dolls. Like they made dolls, and I thought it was really cool.
Okay.
And then also Agatha staring at Rio while they were flying. You could tell it's something that they probably used to do that they enjoyed. Maybe like a little date night. Exactly. Listen, exactly. And I thought that was cute. And then I said Alice the Protector because she was saving Teen from the owl/7 member. And then how Rio was just there for the vibes, and her cackle was funny. And then let's see where else. Oh yeah. So we're up to the part where they was flying into the bug lady and they had their mouths open, and I was like, I don't know why you chose that moment to scream. It's crazy to me.
Maybe because they didn't think she would turn into a
but she was already turning into one as they was getting closer to her. Maybe they needed glasses they couldn't see. It was a little dark. I'll give them that. And then I said I love the sleepover attire, Agatha's purple jersey. I love that. And then her lesbian bracelets that was done on purpose because the show designer fans pointed it out and they were like, yeah, like we did that, and I love that. And then I said I would never play with a damn Ouija board. I have zero interest in playing with a Ouija board. Whether it's real, fake, whatever, no. Why would you even tip? I'm okay. I like witchy stuff, but that's a no for me. It just, even if it's, I don't think there's ever anything that I want answers that bad to that I would go to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why would you? Yeah, no. And then I said I love the way the cabin feels. Again, architecture. I love the way the cabin looks with the tea lights and the wood and
pretty, yeah.
Oh,
That was pretty.
The show is so beautiful. And then I said Agatha's Trials is one of my favorites because of what it stands for. Again, how Agatha and Rio had their moment in episode 4, because I feel like I'm happy that they had their moment in episode 4, because I feel like it wouldn't fit in episode 5 with what Agatha's trial stood for, which was her cunt of a mother. And usually I like that word. That's a positive word for me, but I mean it in the most disrespectful way for her mom. So I like what Agatha's trial stands for. And then I said that it was said on Twitter that Agatha's trial feels so surface level. Because again, Teen made all this up. And yes, he knows Agatha's lore because he researched her, but he doesn't know personal stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why her trial out of everybody's felt very surface level. Even though it was emotionally triggering and everything, it did feel surface level. Like her asking her mom why she hates her, and her mom saying you were born evil. That's stuff that's in her lore, so you know that. You know what I mean? But that's later on. Anyway, I said them talking over each other was funny when he was reading the rules to the Ouija board. And he was like, no, talking over each other. And they're like, what do you mean? Where does it say that? They immediately started talking over each other. And then I was like, Agatha is such a prick. She's terrified, but tries to hide it with humor. And then I said, that's me. And then this was when she was like, oh, who's here to talk to us today? And then they were spelling out. And I thought it was Mr. Sharp, but it's Mrs. Hart, of course. And then I was like, I know her neck hurt when Agatha was pretending to be possessed, and she was like spinning her head around. Huh? Well, she wasn't really possessed.
I know, but
I thought that was funny. I was like, girl, I know your neck hurt. Anything for a laugh. And then I was like, the impression, the Sharon impression is spot on. She sounded just like her. I thought that was great. And I was like, how did they not break? I would be cracking up.
I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, bitch, Rio clocked her tea when she was like, she's just scared. And Agatha immediately was like, first of all, mind your business. And then she was like, well, I thought that was a spot on impression. I was like, it was good, baby. You did good. And then I was like, maternal trauma. And then when they were being serious about it, and they were like, who's here with us? And the Ouija board spelled out death, and Rio started laughing. I was like, well, yes. Because literally. And then they was like, punish Agatha. And I was like, yeah, someone should spank her.
Wow.
That's a punishment, no? That's a punishment.
Rio should do it.
Huh?
Rio should do
it. Exactly. But then go into a personal private room and let them, because, you know, you gotta make sure. Exactly. Every time I say something, I just remember the Nene meme from Real Housewives, and she's like, can you just not be gay for 5 minutes? Every time. And I was like, again, Rio's just there for the vibes. And I said, God, Jen is hot. When she was like, punish Agatha. When she was like, that's what it wants her to do, them to do. And then I was like, the fact that Sashir told us in a whatchamacallit, in a panel, that was her real retainer. And when she took it out, I was like, that's funny. The fact that was her real retainer. And then when Teen was like, why do we have to punish her? And Jen was like, familiars don't get a vote. I was like, ooh, he did not like that. Yeah. His facial expression, he was like, I made this shit. And then I was like, where did Rio get a lighter from? Yeah, because
she'd be fine. She'd be
just magically made it. Isn't she the only one that actually has magic at this point?
I think so.
Yeah, that's funny. And then I was like, Agatha looks terrifying when she was sitting on the ceiling.
Oh my God. When it turned that camera to her, jump scare.
I was like, oh no. She still looks kind of hot though. I don't know. But I was like, oh no. And then when Rio was like, sweetie, you okay? I was like, no, Rio, she is definitely not okay. And then when Agatha had Rio had Jen up by her neck, I was like, I love Jen's bunny slippers. They were cute. And then I was like, here comes this bitch, Evernora, the mother. Mommy dearest. And then when Rio was like, I hate ghosts, I was like, same, Rio. Same, girl. Isn't that funny? And I feel like she's especially scared of Evernora because she knows how evil she is.
Wait. So the mama died.
Huh?
The mama died. You think Rio took her body?
Probably. A magical being. And yeah, Agatha killed her. I definitely. Well, cause remember how she said, how they said ghosts only exist because they have unfinished business. So I feel like Rio maybe Rio didn't take her body, and again, that's why Rio hates ghosts, because it's a sacred balance and all that. And if there's a ghost, that means they have unfinished business. It means they have not crossed over. Okay. Good question. And then I said, again, using humor to hide the discomfort / fear, when she was like, stop embarrassing me in front of my friends, Mom. I was like, Agatha, my baby.
Every child has said it to their parent.
Right?
Mommy do.
Yeah. And then I was like, fuck you and your coven. When she was like, my coven tried so hard to have her killed and y'all working with her. I was like, fuck you and your coven, bitch.
Oh, wow.
And then when Evernor was like, leave her here with me and y'all go finish the trial, I was like, y'all better not leave my baby there. And then Rio was like, no way. I was like, exactly, Rio. Stand up for our boo.
Again.
Because how dare you? And then I said, I think Evernor and Rio have some real beef, aside from her being a ghost and all, because I do think that Agatha and Rio were caught together. Yoshi, do you want me to throw it or not? I need you to let go of it, sir.
That doesn't hurt.
No. He's not scratching me. So yeah, I thought that was funny. I mean, no, I think that they have deep beef. Y'all, I'm trying so hard to multitask. I'm trying to read my notes while giving my cat attention. Otherwise, he'll start screeching. It's a lot. It's been a year, okay? I'm trying. I'm sorry. And then I said, Evernor is so damn evil. I still believe she hated Agatha because of homophobia. I do. I wish we had seen that. Like, the reason why they tried to execute, I know they said because she was dealing with powers that were above her level, whatever the fuck that means. Whatever. I'm craving Taco Bell so bad. It just hit me. Anyway. So, I said some people don't deserve to be parents, dead ass, and she's definitely one of them.
That's a true statement right there.
And then I was like, why do you still hate me? Cuts real deep. Not gonna lie. Because, yeah, that is, even if you're over everything, you still have that deep question of why, as a child, when you feel like a parent doesn't love you, it's like, why wasn't I enough?
Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting that to hit that deep, but it do. I feel it for sure. Just like, why wasn't I enough? Why am I still, even in your death, I'm still not enough?
Yeah.
Why do you hate me so much? Yeah. And then when she said, you were born evil, I would have killed you the moment you left my body. Real fucking evil shit. Like, what? And again, I don't have children, but I can't imagine having a child that would make me hate them that much that I would say something like that. Like, even serial killers. I feel like the one person that would love them unconditionally no matter what is their mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. Like, like, again, as me, serial killers, like, all y'all should go to hell. Yoshi, get down. Get down, Yoshi. Like, I get that. But the one person you do expect to love somebody unconditionally is their mother.
Yeah.
And it's just so crazy to me that there's mothers out there or people who have children that just don't, and they hate their children and stuff like that. It's just so crazy to me. I don't know. It's something I can't imagine. Like, do you get what I'm saying? I don't know. And then I said Rio's reaction to that statement is heartbreaking too, because it's just like, why would you say that?
Yeah. They had to make that one episode where the get you in the heart.
And that's why I'm happy that they gave us the Agatha Rio stuff in the previous episode, because it would not have fit in this episode, honestly. And then I said, when Jen was like, we have to get out of here, I was like, Jen, I get it, but damn, I get it.
So you can't leave somebody behind. Like, you do have,
like, as a Black woman, it's like I can't be everything for everybody all the time while sacrificing myself as well, and nobody is that for me. You know what I mean? Not saying that, your support is transactional, but all the time, like, what happened?
is this the episode? I'm trying to
should I keep going while you're trying to think?
Yeah.
And I was like, Alice the Protector, she's going to, this is when she jumped in front of, when she was trying to exorcise Agatha's mother's spirit out of Agatha's body, and then Agatha started draining her power. I was like, fuck. I know it's her destiny. She's a protection witch, but I still hate that Alice. I
hate that's how she died.
Exactly.
Like, she survived her trial.
And that's the thing. That's where it's like unsatisfying, because it's like I get it, but it's like she did all that just to die.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least now she'll be with her mom, and they won't like be cursed.
And if that's what you think, if that's what comforts you, you already know I don't believe that. So, but if that's what comforts you, I think you just go on to your next life. And your people are always your people, and they're your people in every lifetime you live.
Mm.
That's what I think. Again, but I hate that. It's cool that she died doing her destiny, because there's a lot of people that die that aren't doing their destiny. You know what I mean? So I think it's cool that she died doing her destiny, but I hate that she had to die.
Yeah.
And I hope the show better get a season 2, and I hope if they do, they can bring her back. You feel me? I hope so. I want them to bring Alice back, and I want them to bring Sharon back. I want them to bring Alice back. That's what I want. And then, again, I said I think it's bullshit. She died. I get it, but I still hate it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, when the Ouija board was going crazy, and it showed like Nicholas Scratch's name, I was like, how does Teen know that Nicholas's last name is Scratch? Because again, he created all this. All this is his creation. How do you know his last name is Scratch?
You just research.
I don't know. And then I said, me to Billy, don't be fucking rude. When he was like, oh, you did this. This is your fault. I was like, don't do that. Be respectful.
It's like once she stops, she can't. Once she starts, she can't really stop. And like, y'all know this.
Exactly.
When she gets her powers.
And even if she can't, who cares? Who cares?
Like, why?
But for that part, I was like, oh, Agatha, she's just a baby. Leave her alone. She's just a baby.
Cut me off. I was gonna say, how come nobody decided to like intervene? How come nobody decided to like push Agatha?
Because they were probably shocked that that Alice's power came through. Because again, none of them, they all have lost their power or haven't been able to connect to it. So they're probably like, wait, what's happening? And they probably, again, well, yeah, Lilia did tell them when they blast her, that's how she gets. But maybe they were like, oh no, it's just getting her moms out of the
when
bus.
when they saw Alice losing.
Yeah.
Why didn't they push Agatha or something?
I think it's when it's like a fear thing, like your fear response. You either gonna run or you gonna fight or you gonna freeze. I really think they just froze, honestly. And then when Agatha left out the trial, I was like, Rio watching Agatha go. She was like, I want to go to her, but I have to guide Alice.
Yeah.
I was so sad. And then after they went out and he was yelling at them, I was like, watch your mouth, little boy. Because he was disrespectful.
If they make a second season,
they better.
If they'll show that interaction.
Interaction what?
Between Rio and Alice. Because you know how you said Rio had to lead Alice?
They showed it in the next episode.
They did?
Yeah. Or the episode after, when Alice was like, but I just broke the curse. Or she was like, that's all I get? And Rio was like, if I had a nickel.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, never mind.
I threw it, Yoshi. And then I said, I mean, Jen is right when Tina was like, that's all this is for you. And I was like, that's what it's all about for all of us. And I was like, yeah, Jen is right. And then when Tina was like, no, not me. That's not what it means to be a witch to me. And Agatha just turned and you see that sinister laughter. She's like, are you sure? I was like, oh, Agatha.
Is that one?
She already knew who he was.
But
she was like, you really are like your mother.
Okay. So that is that one.
And I was like, the grip in his chin and biting her lip and saying, you're so much like your mother. I was like, can she do that to me? I mean, huh? Can she do that to me? I don't know. And then when she was like, come, pet. And I put coming and I put the running emojis. Oh, listen. One thing about me, I'm gonna be gay. And then I said, no, them being thrown into the mud, that jacket. R.I.P. that jacket. I said, I'm so mad I have to say bye to that delicious coat. R.I.P. I feel like it was like mine and they ruined it. And I was like, yeah, you ain't like your damn mammy at all.
Oh, when they were drowning in the mud.
Yes.
I was like,
what are you talking about?
I was going to say, what are you?
Jesus, girl.
But then I realized.
And then I said, can't escape this girl if I tried. Talking about William Eyelash, because, of course, when they showed who he was, I was like, Jesus, she's in everything. And then that was the end of the episode. So my final thoughts was Evanora is a cunt. And again, I was like, usually I use that word and mean it in a positive way because it's my favorite word. But in her case, I mean it in the most negative, derogatory, seething, hate-filled way possible. And then I said, I simply need more of this show. 9 episodes isn't enough. It's a need, not a want. I want to know what Salem, Agatha, and Rio got up to as well as their backstory. And I need them to bring Alice back and let her and Jen get together. I just need more. I need more. It was satisfying, but it also made me like, if this is what they can do on a small budget, imagine what they can do on a bigger one. But also that scares me because it's like, what if that takes away from it?
Yeah.
But I believe in them so much that I'm like, I would want a second season. And if it's terrible, then it's not canon to me.
Get the first one.
Exactly.
The first one.
What are your thoughts, your final thoughts on the episode?
Sorry. Pick up.
Bless you.
Pick up.
Still bless you? Fine, unbless you. Goddamn. I'm trying to do something nice for you. I take it back.
No, I like this episode. The only thing, like I said, Alice shouldn't have died. If anything, she should have died at her trial, but she did die doing her duty.
Yeah.
But to me, it was just unfair.
Yeah.
Like the thing I would change is I would have had somebody intervene when they saw that she was sucking the life out of the act.
And then nobody died in the episode.
Exactly.
Yeah. I just feel like there's so much opportunity with Alice.
Exactly.
That, again, maybe because when they were making it, they're like, this is going to be a one and done. So I get it. But
I'm also trying to think, like...
But also, it's Marvel. They could bring anybody back that they fucking want.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, if she didn't die, then how else would she...
Like, what else would she do? Yeah. Because her first instinct is to protect.
Exactly.
And they had more trials to go through. If she's going to, some way, she's going to intervene and die. But I hope they bring her back. I don't know. I just, really, Yoshi, I enjoyed this episode. I like the maternal aspect of it. Trying to heal that maternal trauma. Well, I don't have maternal trauma. I have a lot of paternal trauma, So just to, I get where Agatha's coming from,
Mm-hmm.
and I think her mom is fucking evil.
I do like how they made an episode that most people can, like,
that a lot of people can relate to. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would say most. Even if you had the best parents in the world, there's something that's like, dang. I like that it wasn't a neat bow tying ending. Like, I like that there's still... What's he doing? Yoshi, please stop, sir. Stop. Come here. Come here, baby.
Okay, proceed.
Come here, baby. I like that it was realistic.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. Any other thoughts on this episode or the previous episode? Y'all, I'm really sorry this is all over the place. I'm trying.
It'll be alright.
The next ones will be better.
No more.
Damn, kid. I will try.
Oh, nothing.
Okay, fine.
This is as real as it gets. This is how we talk.
Yes. Okay. But any other thoughts, or that's all you have? What do you hope? Even though I'm gonna ask this at the end as well, but what would you hope to see in the second season? If they get a second season. When they get a second season.
On me personally, I want to see more real lore. Because, like, I want to know how she became deaf.
Yeah.
How she...
Like, was she born deaf? Like, what?
Exactly. Exactly. But back to this episode. Daphne.
Sorry.
Darn it. It was a good one.
I want to see if they really raised their son together.
Okay. Got it. That reminded me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in the first episode, was it the first episode? I think it was the first episode. When Teen was introducing himself to Agatha, and it would
put him as her. Yeah.
So why did she act surprised when that happened if she already knew who he was? Because she said, "You really are your mother's son."
Because she didn't. She knew that it wasn't her son.
Okay.
She had thoughts of who it was, probably because of the sigil. And she's like, because no regular person, it's probably because of the sigil. Why? Knowing that she had beef with the Scarlet Witch.
Mm-hmm.
And she knew what that spell was. So that's probably, she knew that it was because she knew that he had a spell on him. She didn't know exactly who he was. I don't think she knew exactly who he was until Mrs. Hart died. Until Sharon died. Because then she was like, "Oh, I didn't think you had it in you." I think she always had she always had like suspicions.
So when did it break?
When did what break?
That spell.
Once she figured out who he was.
Oh, okay. So that episode. Oh,
yeah. After that, and when he was like, "Oh, I can," he realized he could say his name, and she was like, "Yeah, you're just like your mother, dog."
Gotcha.
But yeah, but was that your question? Anything else for this? Do you have a rating for this episode? No. I give episode... Where are we at? Episode 5? I give episode 5 a 9.5. I thought it was really well done, really well paced. I like the meaning of Agatha's trial. And I do think that it also helped me personally delve into some things that I didn't really think about. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's closure for me, realizing some stuff, and it's just like, you know what? It is what it is.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let it go. Okay, so those are our thoughts on episode 4 and 5 of Agatha All Along. Let us know what y'all thought. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Again, I'm sorry it's all over the place, but hey, this is us. And we're gonna do the random question of the day. Random question of the day. What is something that happens in shows that irks the hell out of you? Do you want me to go first and then you can go? Okay, like for me, when people have their fucking shoes on furniture, especially on their pillows, I hate that. It's disgusting. And if you put your sneakers that you wear outside on pillows that you lay your head on, I know your house is musty. I just know it is, because that's nasty. That's disgusting. Another thing, having a whole table of food and just grabbing an apple and walking out. That's crazy to me. I made this whole breakfast. You just gonna take an apple and walk out? Wasting food. Terrible. And then, that immediately takes me out, pissing me off. When a show opens or a movie opens and they're laughing and I don't know what's going on, I hate that. I don't exactly. I don't like when but I'm putting it in the show. Anything. If I walk into a room and people is laughing, it just immediately I'm like, what are they talking about? What's so funny? I want to laugh too. Are they laughing at me? I don't like this. But that might be my autism talking.
It's some talking.
Girl, fuck you. Anyway, those are my 3 things. There's plenty more, but those are my 3 things for now. What's yours?
Okay. I'm gonna just take yours. I'm gonna go with the second one. Where you said how there'd be a whole food on the table and nobody eats it. But, me personally, I don't really pay too much attention. I don't really pay too much attention to like movies or shows until like I watch them again. I was like, I miss this. This happened, which is so bad because you're supposed to like pay attention to the first thing.
So it's just the me thing then?
No, because I'm pretty sure like other people do, but I'm saying me.
You're just like, I'm just watching it. I'm just here for vibes. And me, I'm like, what's this? What's that? What's this shit? What's that shit? It just happens enough in shows and movies where I'm like, stop.
That's another thing. I don't really watch shows and movies.
She don't watch nothing until I show it to her. I'm the show and movie girl who notices every fucking thing. I can't help it. She's games. I can't help it though. It's just I can't help it. I can't, like, once I notice something, I'm like, I hate when that bitch put her sneakers on the pillow in episode 2. I can't get past that. What? That's not nasty to you?
No, because that made me think of something from Agatha.
What?
How you said, like, you notice things.
What?
This might be a spoiler. What episode was Teen and that kid?
His boyfriend?
Yeah.
Episode 6.
Okay.
7. Episode 7.
Okay.
Episode 6 or 7? No, episode 6. 7 is Lilia's trial. Why?
Nope. Well, talk about that when we get to episode 6.
Don't do that. No.
Well,
that's another fucking thing. That's another thing. Don't tell me something and it be like, oh, well, I'll tell you later. Tell me now. Don't do that. No, say it.
No.
Monasia, I'm going to punch you in the neck.
I'll tell you after this is over.
I hate when people do that.
I'm
fine.
I'm not for them.
Fine.
I'll
fine.
tell you after.
Fine. Okay, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Happy Pride.
Below.
Yes, answer the question below. Happy Pride. Nobody answered the question about the when we all fall asleep, where you go. And it makes me sad because I really want to know people's opinions on that.
Time.
I'm trying. You know me.
Oh.
I want to think. Anyway, thank y'all for joining us. I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope you have a good night. Be safe. Take care of yourself. Hug your loved ones.
Drink for me.
Drink for her. And just, just be careful out there. Shit is real weird. And yeah, let me know y'all thoughts. Thank you. Bye.